So in this video, we're going to talk about how we created this large Roman type coffee table for our porch. We had been stuck in the house with COVID and we're bored, and so we decided we were going to learn how to mosaic. We'd watched a bunch of YouTube videos and we had each created one small project. And then after that, we felt we were ready to tackle a big project. So we'd had this table. It was a wicker set we had out on our outside porch, and the wicker all rotted, and we kept the glass tabletop. You cannot throw it in regular garbage. It has to go to recycle. So we just put it on the side of the house till we felt in the mood to lift it and take it and dispose of it. And it sat there for weeks. And then Andy came up with the idea and said, instead of getting rid of this glass tabletop, why don't we create a large mosaic? And that's what we decided to do. So we decided we wanted this project to have a feel of like a Roman type mosaic, and we wanted it to be entirely in stone. We didn't have a lot of stone at that point. So we looked online, found this company based in Tucson, Arizona that had a large selection of natural stone. And we ordered it online, and it took a few weeks to come. And in the interim, we were just figuring out what we wanted to do design-wise. So the stone came in from Tucson, and we decided we would start with the border. We didn't have any set plan or idea for this. We weren't sure what we were going to do, and the border's easy to start with. We'll figure the rest out later. So we'd gotten these sheets from the floor tiling section in Home Depot of these nice flat river rock type stones. We ripped them off the backing, and we made this nice wavy pattern all around the edge of the table. Then we decided to line that with an inner border of these small square stones. We picked 4 different colors and did 4 lines around, following the uneven pattern that we had made with the river stone. And it ended up with a really nice result. It made it look like this wavy, undulating, watery type pattern. We decided to go with an ocean theme for the table, and we had to pick the sea creatures we were going to go with. So the first one we chose was a dolphin. So we made the dolphin first, and then after the dolphin we made an octopus, all 8 legs of him. He took up a good amount of space on the inside of the table. And then you see we were going to put a starfish in the center, but we didn't like how that looked, so we ripped it up. And then the third creature that we laid down was this pretty seahorse. So we had our 3 different sea creatures, the dolphin, the octopus, and the seahorse. And then we had to figure out what we were going to do in the center. So now we have the finished outside border, inner border, and we have our 3 sea creatures. We didn't like how the starfish looked. We removed it, and now we were going to figure out what we were going to fill the rest of the background in. So we got rid of the starfish in the center, and we really liked the way that inner border with the 4 rows of different color stones came out. So we wanted to do something that would go with that and work well with that. We decided to just make a little square in the center and then do these concentric circles from the center, working their way out. Just do circle, circle, circle rows. And it was really looking very nice with the border. We did that little design in the center, and we did 2 rows of these rectangular shaped stones vertically on edge, and then we did 1 row with them horizontally, and we just kept that pattern. Once we hit the animals, it got a little harder. There were we had to stop the circles and then continue them on the other side of the sea creature.
Cut a lot of stone.
We had to cut quite a bit of stone, which is hard to do. Stone is difficult to cut, to make little pieces and triangles and things to fit, so that it would, would look nice, fit around the tails, fit around the fins and
Tentacles.
the tentacles, right. So it was lots of little pieces to cut. You can see there a good example in the dolphin as the rows kind of tapered as they moved in towards the dolphin's body. And we just kept up this pattern of these rows around and around and around. And when it was done, we were really happy with how it came out. It looked very nice, and it blended really well with those 4 inner rows in the border. So the next step was that all the stone had to be sealed. You don't need to do this if you're working with glass or acrylic, but stone needs to get a sealer on it before you grout, because the grout can stain the stone and it makes it a lot harder to wipe clean the surface of the mosaic too. So we had watched quite a few videos on YouTube to learn how to do this and what product we needed to buy. It's called an impregnator sealer. It brushes on, it's a liquid, and it brushes on the stone, and you let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then you wipe it off with a clean cotton cloth, which is what you see me doing. So we did that. We sealed the surface, we wiped it all down after 15 minutes, and then we let it sit for 24 hours. And then the next day we were able to proceed with the grouting, and the stone would now be safe to grout, and the grout couldn't damage the stone. So we went back to YouTube, watched a bunch more videos on how to grout. I picked up some grout. You have two choices: pre-mixed grout or just the grout powder. Like you buy a bag of sand, you buy a bag of grout, and that's what I got. It's a lot more, saves you a lot more money that way. It's cheaper to buy a big bag in bulk. And I got a plastic bucket and a trowel mixing tool, and I mixed up the grout. I got a plain white grout, and then we started grouting the table. The grout is a little complicated. We'll probably do a video on when I'm grouting my next project, just to teach you exactly what you have to do to grout. But YouTube's great for everything. That's where I learned. So we grouted the table, which was quite a lot of elbow grease to get it in all those little seams and corners, and then smoothed it out nice and let it sit for about an hour. And then you take a damp squeezed out sponge and wiped down the surface of it and got the bulk of the grout off the surface of the stones, and it gives it a nice smooth finish. And then you let it sit for 24 hours, and then you do the final wiping off and cleaning of the surface. 24 hours after the grout had dried and we had thoroughly wiped and cleaned off and shined up the surface, I then applied a second product, something called a sealer enhancer. And what that does, got applied just like the other one, got brushed on, wait 15 minutes, wipe it down, and wait 24 hours. And then the second day I did the same thing. 3 days in a row I applied 3 coats, because this was going to go outside. I wanted it to have a nice thick finish. But the enhancer brings out the color of the stone. If you go back and look at the picture of the table before this, when we first finished the grouting, you'll see that it's just kind of dull looking, and now the colors are bright and vibrant. It's like throwing water on stone, you know, makes it look more vivid and sharp, and that's what this product does. So we put the enhancer sealer on, and it really brought out the colors of the table, made everything so much brighter, brought out the blues, brought out the greens. Great product. And I put 3 coats on because, as I said, it was going to be an outdoor project, and I wanted the extra protection. So here's the finished product. Nice bright vivid colors, a nice shine to it with that 3-layer of the enhancer, and it's sitting outside on our porch. So here it is outside on our screened-in porch. We turned it into a beautiful coffee table. It's a great conversation piece. It looks wonderful out there. It fits right in with our Florida theme. And I just wanted to tell you one more thing. This table, the glass tabletop itself, was quite heavy, and then we put that thick layer of stone and grout. So it was really heavy. We had to think carefully about what to use as the base, because we didn't want to worry about it being unstable and tipping. So we got a large, wide flower pot, and that is what we used. So this concludes our video about our Roman coffee table. Considering we were pretty much brand new at this, if we created something like this, anybody else can. Watch some tutorials and just get in there and do it. We loved it. We know you'll enjoy it too. If you like this video, just hit like below, and subscribe, and there will be
More to
more to
come.
come.